If you want to win some free PSN or Xbox gift cards, all you gotta do is be subscribed to my channel, drop a like on this video, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin, and welcome back to another Call of Duty World War II video. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is giving you guys 5 class setups right now, as well as talking about Scorestreaks and some other things that work really good in Call of Duty World War II. This game just came out, and I'm going to give class setups that work well for low-level players, for high-level players, for players who like ARs, people that like SMGs, people that like to rush or sit back, and it's going to be a really good video. I know a lot of people are asking me about division setups, aka class setups. It's probably, you know, they're the same thing. I'm going to title it probably both of those in the title, but hope you guys will enjoy today's video. Of course, I'm going to be doing individual class setup videos for pretty much every gun in the game, because that's one of my favorite things to do. Experiment, mess around with all the different guns, and find the best combo. So if you guys could, those will be coming in the next week, you know, couple of weeks, of course. If you guys could drop a like on this video, 2,000 likes would mean the absolute world to me. I know this is a late night upload, but I want to get something out to help you guys who are playing and trying to discover these classes, because I've been playing this game a lot since it came out, pretty much non-stop, and I've discovered some very, very good division setups. And let's get right into it. Of course, 2,000 likes would be amazing. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let's get into it. So this first setup that I have here is, of course, well, this one is going to be your sort of level 1, your early game setup. Well, we can talk a bit about the divisions first of all. For the divisions, basically what you have is you have your infantry, which basically is for assault rifles. Essentially, you're going to get the bayonet, which allows you to knife with the AR, extra magazines, so sort of like not extended mags, but extra magazines as in your stock ammo, an additional attachment, so a third attachment, and stock, so you move significantly faster when aiming down sights. Airborne is your fast SMG rushing. Suppressor, sprint for longer distances, climb over obstacles faster, and increase sprint speed. And of course, the suppressor is optional if you want to use it or not. Armored is sort of your flak jacket, tac mask class. It works for LMGs with the bipod, but you don't need to be an LMG player to use this. Immune to shell shock and tactical equipment. Less fire damage from incendiary grenades or whatever they're called, and less explosive damage. Mountain is your one that's sort of your stealth. You know, you have the ghillie suit on, of course. You can see invisible to UAV, invisible to kill streaks, and silent movement. So this is literally your SND stealth class setup, or, you know, whatever you want to play with the silencer, I guess. But it kind of sucks because you can't use this class setup and mix it with a silencer, so that's sort of a flaw in the setup there. And then this one is your sort of, you want to be using the fire grenade shells, run around with a shotgun with a bunch of grenades, an extra piece of, you get a tactical and lethal equipment. You can resupply equipment by running over people, and you throw equipment faster, farther, and while sprinting. So that's basically how these go. The first one, of course, here we go. This is a class up that you're going to want to play with early on in the game, when you're prestige, you know, whether you're just getting on the game or you're low level in your prestige. Airborne setup with the grease gun, which is a, you know, there's your starter SMG, and a very, very strong one in my opinion. It's an automatic SMG, low recoil, steady fire rate. It's your just average overall. It's sort of like the Kuda from Black Ops 3. I just throw on the quick draw and the grip. You have the SMG suppressor, which I recommend. Like, you can put the suppressor on if you want to use it when you get up in their spawn, but I think the gun's a lot stronger without the silencer, so I'll only throw that on if I'm like up in their spawn and I want to be silent, because it only takes a second to put it on. And then as far as your basic training, which is essentially your perk, you only get one of them. Hustle is the one, because this is an early game one. This class setup is made for your early levels. Reload faster and while sprinting. Your first pistol and a grenade. This is your very simple class setup that's going to be good to get you to like level 20 or something like that. A very good class setup. And after that, this class setup still is your overall good like Kuda class with the grease gun. Next class setup is more of an assault rifle one, and this starts with the M1941, which is your first AR, and this thing is a monster. You can see it's 9 on the fire rate. This thing has an insane fire rate. It's like the Vesper in assault rifle mode, or I guess it's just rifles in this game. But of course, with the infantry setup, this class setup is made to destroy people at a sort of medium range, because this gun doesn't have the most range, but you have your infantry, which gives you 3 attachments, and I run the red dot, the extended mags, and the reason why you need the extended mags on this one is because you only have 25, and it is a super fast fire rate. The reload time is kind of slow too, because it's more of like a big rifle, right? So you need extended mags 100%, and then I have grip on this thing as well. This class setup is really awesome. I also throw the machine pistol on. I recommend as soon as you get a high enough level where you don't have to use the PO8, switch over to the machine pistol. because it only has 10 in the capacity, but that's enough to, you know, save yourself and get a kill. Definitely a very good machine pistol. For the basic training on this one, I have Lookout. Enemy targets appear from further away and increased minimap coverage. This one is very good with a class setup like this because it's essentially Marksman, which is a very good perk from like MW3, and it lets you see enemies from farther away. Their names pop up. Bigger minimap. It helps out overall on your macro play. This assault rifle class setup is very, very deadly for the early levels. The M19 is one that a lot of people overlook and go straight to the SDG or the bar, but for early level players, you don't have those ones, and I definitely don't recommend not skipping over this weapon and giving it a fair shot. Next one I have here, this is probably my favorite class in the game right now, and of course I'm still testing things out, the game's very new, but the PPSH boys with Airborne, and with this primed basic training, this is one of the best basic trainings in the game. It lets you take a third attachment, or a fourth one if you're already running with the infantry, but of course I'm running Airborne here for the SMG, so a third attachment, and you flinch less when shot, which is like toughness from Black Ops 2. So with that, this basically I throw on the extended mags, the grip, and the rapid fire. Quick draw on this game is good, but it's not as strong as it was in previous CODs. I think they're going to be buffing it soon, but of course you have all this stuff, and technically you have your suppressor as well. I don't recommend the suppressor at all on this class. PPSH seems to do a lot more damage and, you know, have a lot more range without the suppressor, and this class just mows people down. Extended mags, you have a bunch of ammo. You already have 35, so I think it's with the extended mags you have 48. You have rapid fire and grip, and you have a, you know, of course, less flinch. So this is a really good class setup. Plus with your Airborne, you're going to be moving faster, you're going to be sprinting for longer distances, climbing over stuff faster, and having increased sprint speed. So this is your overall like awesome SMG class, and this is one that I highly recommend. When you unlock all this stuff sort of in your mid levels, use this class. It's really, really good, guys. I 100% recommend that one. My next one is going to be the bar. Now, a lot of people talking about this is the best gun in the game. This is a very, very strong class. This class setup I've set up sort of to be my, you know, strong AR holding it down. Basically like what you would have with like an M8A7 or a Man of War on Black Ops 3. I'm comparing it to that because that's a very popular game that a lot of people know about. I have infantry because I really need infantry with assault rifles to have that stock move significantly faster when aiming down sights. There is a basic training that supplies that, but I find that just running infantry is the best because you also get those extra magazines, you get the bayonet, and you get the additional attachment. So the infantry setup is very, very strong. It's probably infantry and Airborne that are the top two right now. And I run this one with extended mags, with quick draw, and with grip. You don't need the grip on the bar. It doesn't have much recoil at all, but just the grip holds it steady in place where you don't have to worry about missing that one shot that can cost you. This takes 4 shots to kill. Automatic rifle with moderate recoil, fast fire rate. This is sort of, I guess, what you can compare to the ACR or something like that. But I would compare it more to like the Scar H from MW2 because what it has in common is 20 capacity on the magazine, which basically that shows that they know this gun is really good, and they're like, you know, we got to tone down on the capacity or nerf this thing somehow. That's how they did it. But of course, how you combat that, slap on extended mags, baby. You're good to go. Reload time on this very quick. You don't need to have hustle, and this is very strong. Of course, I've always pretty much just stick with the machine pistol and the nade for now. I'm going to experiment more with different lethals and tacticals, but you only get to take one, of course. So it's between a nade, a Semtex, which has a quick thing to note, 5-meter blast radius on the Semtex. On the grenade, 6 meters, so it's probably a lot better. And these stuff are satchel charges, because C4 can also be pretty good, but that's more made for exploding like vehicles or streaks, stuff like that, right? So that's definitely what I could say. 40-meter throw range on the throwing knife, but that's just more for fun. And these ones are all just your tactical equipment, so I definitely stick with the grenade right now. And as far as my perk for this one, basic training, Hunker, early grenade warning, and take less explosive damage. Bonus, the fuse of frag grenades is reset on throwback. So basically flak jacket, right? Because infantry doesn't come with flak jacket. That's something that you cover pretty much everything with your attachments on this class, where I threw on this to keep yourself safe. Grenades are, there's a lot, everyone has a frag right now, right? So people are throwing them, they're exploding. This is a good class up for an objective game mode to hold down those objectives. Highly recommend it, but the bar is unlocked at level 52. So this is more of your late game class setup, right? So next one is one where we have armored. Now, I do say infantry and airborne are probably the two best for normal players, like people that want to do good at the game and be assault rifle SMG players. Of course, mountain and expeditionary are more for people that want to snipe and people that want to use shotguns. So, of course, that's more for stuff that I'll experiment later with. But armored, of course, gives you your anti-BS class. That's what I call this one. less fire damage, immune to shell shock and tactical equipment, and less explosive damage. And with this one, I run it with the primed as well, which gives me an extra attachment and flinch less when shot. So essentially, I call this the anti-BS class setup right now because you have flinch less when shot, immune to shell shock and tactical equipment, take less fire damage, and significantly less explosive damage. So you're literally immune to tactical equipment, stun grenades, flares, smoke grenade, gas, all that stuff. Less fire damage, the fire should not kill you. Less grenade damage, they should not kill you as well. And you should win straight up gunfights because you have this advantage where you flinch less than your other players. And then, of course, I slap on the MP40, which is a very, very strong gun that you unlock by prestiging your Airborne category. I've been loving this gun. I think I have my most kills with this gun. I don't think it's the best, though, but I do think it's a very fun gun to use, and that's why I've been using it a lot. And I run extended mags, quick draw, and then grip. Pretty standard stuff, of course. This is my anti-BS class up. It's one that I really, really love rocking with. I think this is a very, very strong class. Starting 5 class setups. Of course, the game, I'm going to be experimenting with more stuff and doing class setups for every single gun. You guys can let me know which guns in the comment section down below right now. What guns have you guys been rocking with the most that you want me to sort of make a class up video on first, because I'm going to be going through all of these, all of these submachine guns, all these rifles pretty much first, and then get the LMG sniper shotguns. But I want to know which guns you guys want to see for first. I was thinking probably the grease gun first, like a full class setup, because I can definitely work out a better class setup now that I'm at super high level and stuff like that than that beginning class setup. But these class setups are super strong. Let's talk about score streaks a little bit. So score streaks on this game are kind of hard to get and not very strong. As of right now, I've been sticking with usually the recon, the counter UAV, and then a third thing. So you can see here, you can change your kill streaks out. Usually what I've been running is I've been just sticking with the recon, a counter UAV, and then as my third one, something like a mortar or an artillery strike. These ones seem to do decent amount of damage. This gives me control over the map, and I like this kill streak setup. Another one you want, if you're playing objective game modes, of course, I would use that for TDM. If you're more of an objective game mode player, what I personally would run is I would run the fighter pilot. This thing is the one where you have to go in a corner, call it in, and you get to fly over them in a chopper gunner for about 3 or 4 seconds to get some shots off. You can get double kills with this, you can get triple kills with it. In the objective based game modes, hardpoint and domination, even though domination is only 50 points a kill right now, which I 100% think needs to be changed, because I mean look, 50 points per kill, the highest kill streak is 1700. That's 34 kills. Even if you're playing the objective, you're still going to end up having to get over 20 something kills to get this thing. So it's kind of BS, right? So I hope they're going to fix that, because they did fix that in the beta. Not really sure why they reverted it. But this is a good class up for sort of objectives. You can run fighter pilot, mortar, and artillery. There's sort of higher streaks to get, but if you're playing hardpoint, all of these can do huge damage over the hardpoint. If you don't like one of these, for example, say you don't like using the fighter, you can take it out for the glide bomb. Very, very good stuff. As far as the big kill streaks we're working with in the game, I don't have much experience with them. Essentially what these are, I'll go through the kill streaks real quick. Molotov cocktail, you get one of these, you can toss in, good for objective play. UAV, counter UAV, care package, fighter pilot, we had this in the beta, glide bomb. Flamethrower is a portable on your back flamethrower. This thing was kind of used in the war mode in the beta a little bit. This thing is a fun thing to use. I'm not sure how actually valuable it is. It's very much like the specialist from BO3. Not sure how much value it will provide. I think it's more of another another objective based thing. Clear out the hard point real quick if it's in a building, something like that. A lot of this game is designed for competitive, and that's definitely what this kill streak is designed for. Mortar strike, you put it in on 3 different locations and it drops down, sort of like, I guess, a Hellstorm missile. It's decently strong. I think it needs a buff. Artillery, you drop on 1 location and it goes down for a while. Decently strong. I also think that needs a buff. You have here your flat guns, which is essentially an EMP. It's the World War II version of an EMP. Destroy all enemy aerial score streaks and block them from using new ones. So it's sort of, I don't really see the use for this in public matches, especially this would be more useful in ground war. But there's no ground war in this game, and I'm not really sure why. So this one is probably not going to see much use at all from me. I mean, there's no advanced UAV or hater you have to get to destroy. I mean, if you stack, I think, your 3 UAVs at once with your teammates, you get some sort of an advanced UAV. But there's nothing you need to destroy with the flat guns, unless they get one of these big kill streaks, which no one can actually get at this point in the game, until they update some things. Emergency airdrop, you get 3 random care packages. So this can be good if you pair it with the, I think it's ordnance, basic training, which allows you to re-roll care packages, which would basically mean you get 6 chances. So that would be a very strong kill streak. Fire bomb and run, this one is very strong. I think all these streaks still need some reworks, because I haven't really been able to experiment with them a lot, because they're so hard to get, especially in domination where it's 50 points a kill. But this one is essentially supposed to be what I think I've tested out in the score streak in the Scorestreak testing zone. Sort of like the swarm of this game. Basically, it just flies over and bombs people, and it targets your enemies, and it says don't stand near your enemies because you might get hit with the flames or with the explosion, and it leaves flames on its path. So it's sort of like a mix between the strike we had from Black Ops 1, which would leave the fire, as well as a sort of like a swarm, I guess you would say, except it doesn't really swarm in on them themselves. It just, I would put it at that, because you just literally call it in and keep playing. Paratroopers, which are still needing a little bit of a buff, but one tip with these is you want to call them in when you're in the enemy spawn, because they run to where you call them in. That's where they fly in at. They're sort of supposed to be the dogs of this game, I guess. They're just basically calling in people, like extra players in your team that run out and get kills for you. Then you have the carpet bombing, or actually the carpet bombing. This is the one that's more like the swarm. Sorry, the fire bombing run is one that is more like the napalm strike, right? But this is the one that goes multiple passes. So I messed that up a little bit. This is the one that is the like the napalm strike. So it's a fairly strong thing for objective play. This one is like the swarm, 1,400 points. That makes more sense, right? So this one, it goes over occupied enemy territory, multiple passes, and this is the one where you don't want to stand near your enemies. I guess both of them you don't want to stand near your enemies. And this one is basically a chopper gunner, 1,700 points. No one's going to be using it for quite some time. You know, of course, that's 17 kills even in the best of game mode. So hope you guys did enjoy this video. Of course, these are some class setups and some Scorestreaks you definitely want to work with starting right now. If you guys did enjoy this video, made it to the end, please smack a like on this thing, guys. This was a long video, really helpful. I think this will definitely help you guys level up fast, get more kills, all that sort of stuff. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, sub for a cookie and don't looky, and I'm out. Peace.